Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I'm finally doing my review of my father's work. So I've had this game for a year now. I have been playing it. I wanted to wait a while until I did my review, until I was comfortable with it, get a few plays in. So this was a game that was on Kickstarter. I was lucky enough to find it at my local game store and pick it up after hearing great things about it. So this is a narrative worker placement game. It requires an app on your phone, so that's why I can't really show you how to play. But I also want to avoid spoilers. I don't want to showcase too much of this game. Now, I'm gonna put pictures throughout the video, showing bits and pieces of the game to get you comfortable. But there are better videos out there that showcase the game, show you how to play and stuff. This is mostly just my review. So, without spoiling too much, in this box is going to be 3 scenarios. They have these 3 boxes, and you choose one scenario. It doesn't matter which one you choose. And in the boxes, there's going to be certain components for that scenario. So it could be different cards, different components and stuff, like I stated before. And then you're going to take this book right here. Let me fix it up. It's called The Village Chronicle. So this is going to be almost the meat of the game. You're going to choose your scenario, and then as you're reading the story and everything, it's going to tell you to flip to a different page. So this is going to show the town. And now, if you look at the book here, there's several pages here, and also they relate to the different scenarios. Like one is called like a time of war. That's one scenario, and then there's certain pages that are related to that scenario. And so, also each player is going to have their own player board, which represents their mansion, because you're playing as a mad scientist that is trying to complete this one invention. So everybody's trying to complete a different invention. By the time they're so it's going to go through several years. I'm getting ahead of myself. It's going to go through several years, so it's going to be your next of kin. Hopefully by the third kin, you complete your that invention. But throughout those several years, there's going to be certain things that happen. So you're going to have this mansion, you're going to have your spouse, you're going to have certain workers, and certain workers could only be placed inside the house, while others could be sent to the village here. And so you're going to have all these different rooms, and all these different rooms do certain things. And throughout the game, you're going to be able to purchase more rooms and build them along your mansion. And again, it could do more things and more actions and stuff. So as the game progresses, this is a worker placement game, and you're gonna have different inventions that are happening that you're going to collect as well, that you can do, and again, that will make yourself stronger. And but the thing that can happen is, on the game board, there's going to be a fear track. So as you do more things, like on the town here, one of the places that you can go is like a cemetery, and in the cemetery you collect a dead body. When you do an action like that, it's gonna make the town be more fearful of you. So what's gonna happen is that track is gonna go up, and then it's gonna also bring another like a fear track, which is like a little fire symbol. If those ever meet, well, then you're gonna be unable to go back into town and collect certain supplies that you need. And the only way that you would actually be able to go back in town is if you send somebody to the church, which would lower the fear track. So again, the game is going to be going through several rounds, and throughout this game, as it progresses, and depending on what you and other players do, again, this plays up to 4. So this is a competitive game. The map is going to change for better or for worse. As you can see right here, sometimes certain buildings can get destroyed, more buildings will be built, and so on. And by the 3rd year, by the 3rd kin, or whatever it is, the game is going to end after that, and obviously whoever has the most victory points is going to win. And then there's going to be a little story at the end about what happens. Each scenario has about like 8 different endings. So it's highly replayable. It's not just one and done and that's it. But without, again, spoiling too much, that's pretty much how the game plays. You're pretty much trying to create all these different creations, make a name for yourself, and then again, seeing how the story ends for you and for your opponents. And that's about it. So again, like, I didn't want to spoil too much for you. I want to just give you the nitty gritty of how this game plays. So let's go right into what I think about it. So let me say what I dislike the most about this game. And it's only one thing, is that no matter what your player count is, whether you're playing with 2, 3, or 4, this game is going to go more than 2 hours. You're looking at a 3-hour game here. Especially if you're playing with players with analysis paralysis, it could possibly go longer. I have never played with 4 players yet. I've only been playing with 3, which I feel it's the sweet spot, but this game also plays excellent at 2 players. So let's go right into what I really like about this game. Well, number one is the theme. The theme is incredible. You got that whole mad scientist feel. Again, each scenario is going to be different. You're gonna get a different story, and it just goes. It syncs so well with what you're doing in this game, and so like it is. It does have that horror theme to it again, which is what I really like. But it's also, the story is also so damn good, no matter which one that you pick. Again, it could be a little slow when they're narrating it. Again, you could change the voices. I think you could take the voice off yourself and just read it. But that also, like, the narration is also what drags the game a bit as well. Is sitting there reading what's going on, or having to hear what they're saying. But again, let's go on to the next thing. Number 2, the component wise, the game looks beautiful. The art on the cards, the miniatures, everything, the cardboard, you can see how much love was put into this game. It's this is not a game that comes around often that you see that's as unique as this. But just looking just with the narration, the theme, and the components and stuff, there was a lot of love put into this game. But now how the gameplay is. So I will say this, without the narration, this is just a basic worker placement game. You're sending your workers there, collecting supplies, building different rooms, completing the invention, whatever one you choose. It's just a basic game. Where it really comes together and just keeps you intrigued is how it intertwines with the narration of what you do, what's going to happen. There is some player interaction with this. You can screw other players over by going to different locations. So like there was one scenario, I remember, that you went to the bar and you choose what goes on. Like, if you want to start a bar fight, or if you could say something bad about like another player. It prevents them from going into town. So there is a little bit of take that, which is what I like. But it's nothing that's going to hurt a player like really badly. This is still a competitive game, and at the heart of it, which is something I really, really like. If you know me, I don't like multiplayer solo unless it really captures me. But this game does everything. You have that interaction, you got that narration, and still the gameplay is a lot of fun. Ultimately, I'm going to give this game a 9.5 out of 10. It is that freaking good. And at first, I thought I wasn't going to like it. Again, I like the theme and everything, but when you have these type of narration games where it relies on the app and stuff, you always got to feel a little weary. I always feel a little weary about it, because I want to play a board game. I don't want to play a video game. There's other board games out there that they integrate that app so well. Like Chronicles of Crime is a great app-driven board game. What was the other one? Mansions of Madness. I haven't played it yet, but just watching people play, it does it so well. It doesn't rely too heavily on that app. The app is solely really just for narration and setting up the game. Everything. So this still feels like a board game at the end of the day. But yeah, man, the game is by T.C. Petty III. I've never heard of this guy's other stuff, but this is just by playing a few games of this game is a masterpiece. It's really that good. And if you're into like the whole theme, like the mad scientist theme, the horror theme, or everything mixed up, mixed with it, especially and you got a great story behind it, this is a game you really should pick up. And like, it's highly replayable. Again, each scenario has about 8 different endings. So, you know, you could, I'm sure even after you get all those endings, all those different endings, you might want to come back to it again, because you're not going to remember, because there's so many scenarios, so many different endings, and it's just a really fun game to play. And, you know, that to me is important, and I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing more content from this game in the future. But yeah, that's going to be my father's work, a 9.5 out of 10. This is probably my favorite worker placement game. And as of right now, usually, it's Architects. But the thing, again, at heart and soul, Architects is, I would say, more of an intriguing worker placement game, only because you know, it doesn't have an app. There's a lot more take that in a game like Architects and stuff. But what really does it for me is the whole narration, the whole theme and everything that comes through when playing this game. That's why I feel like this is, my personal opinion, this is probably the best worker placement game out there, if that's what you're looking for. But yeah, that's going to do it for today, guys. Please like and subscribe to this channel. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I had a lot of fun playing this game and doing this review. I've been wanting to do it for a long time, but I waited until, you know, I got a few games in, and yeah, it is a masterpiece. But again, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.